David, we got some good stuff today. Busy week in the NFL. Mock draft later in the show. You've got a QB ranking to break down. What do we got?
Yeah, I do have a QB ranking. So CBS did a ranking of every QB to throw a pass. So there's 82 QBs they went through for the year and put them in categories. So, of course, the final
15 of those from the Niners, right?
15 of those from the Niners. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we're not going to go through all of them because the final category is the leftovers, which in the leftovers, of course, you got people like Kyler Thompson, Kyle Allen, Trey Lance is in that category, Trevor Siemian, the guys that really are nothing. Those are the final 54 through 82. And then you got the category above that one, which is the short-lived notable. So guys that were a name that are no longer what they used to be. Mitchell Trubisky, Deshaun Watson is on that list. Zach Wilson is on that one. Jameis Winston. So guys that were something.
What is Watson rated?
He's 35th.
35th.
Yeah, he is 35th.
Yeah. I don't know how long you account for rust, but Cleveland has to be having buyer's remorse. He looked awful. Look, I understand you're not playing competitive, but you look like you've never played the game before. Like that's your stunt double.
I think they're convincing themselves now that it was always about next year. It was always about 2023. Well,
and that's kind of what the article says. Theoretically, he's a candidate for a big leap in 2023.
Better.
Is he, though?
Better.
I mean, honestly, I think for Deshaun Watson, either he is comeback player of the year, or I think you could label worst contract ever.
I can't believe some people here in Detroit wanted him.
You know what? I thought the same. Because you're thinking he's in his prime. Okay, he's not playing, but he's working out. Maybe he's, at some high school field, just doing reps. He was obviously doing nothing. Nothing.
He paid a premium.
And, yeah, you paid a lot of money. Like I said, next year, he's either comeback player of the year or Cleveland will be – this will go down as the Dallas Herschel Walker deal. That's how bad this will be.
So then the category above them, quarterbacks 27 through 34, they categorize that as the on and off the bench category. So you have Baker Mayfield at 34, Matt Ryan at 33, Carson Wentz 32, Davis Mills, then Sam Darnold, Marcus Mariota, Mac Jones at 28, and then my quarterback, Kenny Pickett at 27. On and off the bench. So guys that I guess aren't quite there as a starter yet.
Well, I'm shocked to see Mac Jones there because I thought that he was going to be New England's future. And then all of a sudden he wasn't. And then the kid from Western Kentucky, Zappy, steals the job, becomes a fan favorite, and now you got a little bit of a quarterback controversy.
I mean, I think every single one of those QBs is going to be replaced, with the exception of Kenny Pickett, just because he's young and you got to give him an offensive line.
Mariota, unfortunately, I think will always just be a backup.
Yeah,
he'll be a good backup, but he's a career backup.
So then the category here, the next one is 16 through 26, war-torn veterans. So guys that used to be the stars of yesteryear that are no longer stars, no longer MVP-type guys.
So that's like Aaron Rodgers.
You have Aaron Rodgers at 16, Tom Brady at 17, who's retired now, so of course, okay. Jimmy G at 18, Derek Carr 19, Jacoby Brissett at 20, Ryan Tannehill, Andy Dalton, Russell Wilson. I'm going to save 24 because that one's kind of interesting to me. 25, Taylor Heineke. 26, Matthew Stafford.
That's a little reactionary, but okay, fine.
24, it's a guy that just got paid. Quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray. A star of yesteryear? They just paid this man.
Go ahead, Cookies.
Well, if you could break this down by month, he's great in September, phenomenal in October, and then right around the time Call of Duty comes out, you could say it's a coincidence, but it's the same thing every year. Some of it's wear and tear on a shorter QB. You get beat up. But
See,
I'm
really,
tired of the excuses for Kyler Murray.
I'm not buying the short thing. I think this, or the Call of Duty thing. I think we talked about Cleveland having buyer's remorse. Arizona has it.
Mm-hmm.
With all the accolades and him winning and doing all of this stuff in college, and I don't think anybody ever sat down and just say, hey, Kyler, do you love football? Is this what you want to do with your life? Because he doesn't. And you're seeing it now. And now you've paid him too much money for a man who doesn't love the game. It's a job. So we, the listeners, would say, oh, I would, if you were paying me $250 million, I would do this and I would train. But imagine you at your job right now, that it's just a job, and they want you to do above and beyond the job, and you're like, yeah, I don't get paid for all that. Yeah, you know what? Why don't you give that to Debbie? I'm not doing that. You know what? Pass that over to Hank, because, you can email. Why don't you email him? Because I'm not doing it. That's what Kyler is right now. Kyler don't want to be there. It's work. It's not his passion.
Give me somebody from that group that could have a big year, bounce back. So Rodgers, Wilson, healthy Stafford, Jimmy G, your guy in a new place. Anybody of those? Carr. Who jumps out from that group? Who's not going to be in that group next year?
Carr. I look at Carr because he'll probably end up
top 15 next year.
In a few places. I think he ends up in New York because Aaron Rodgers still in the dark. Are we still in that 4-day window?
I haven't heard from him. Yeah, I think he's
still in the dark.
Yeah.
So I think Jimmy G ends up with the Bucks during a rebuild. I don't think you're going to get much out of him. But no, I would say Carr.
Okay.
I can see that.
Oh, come on. Well, you know why he asked the question. Cookie's asked the question because he wants to say Stafford.
I'm just going to recuse myself.
He wants to say Stafford, but what you're going to find out is the same thing that you learned here in Detroit, that the Rams are finding out. Stafford needs all the toys. Not some, not 90%. He needs all of the toys to win. Because if he doesn't have a tight end, well, I didn't have a tight end.
Hold on.
If he doesn't have a running back, well, I didn't have a running back.
He's baiting me, guys. I don't even want to do this.
If he doesn't have 3 receivers, I only had 2 receivers.
How about in the Super Bowl? He had no run game, no Odell. His offensive line's falling apart.
If I don't have,
and he's slinging the ball for the game-winning drive.
If I don't have a top defense, then don't ask me to win.
Just protect him a little bit. Protect him a little bit. He'll be top 15 next year.
My wife told me I was special.
David, what's the next tier of quarterbacks?
The next tier, it's the scatter shot playmakers, and what they categorize that as are boom or bust type quarterbacks. 12 through 15, Dak Prescott, Justin Fields, Tua, and Lamar Jackson. Boom or bust type quarterbacks.
Dak, Tua,
Fields, and Lamar.
You know who's my least favorite in that group? Tua.
Because of injury?
Some of it's injury. I don't think he has the strongest arm. I think it's about in-breaking routes and check downs and short stuff, and he's okay. He's a game manager to me.
You know what? You know what's so funny? If somehow you could take Tua and take him from the Dolphins and put him on the Cardinals and then take Kyler and put him on the Dolphins, I think you would see a different Tua because you would have a team that would back him and believe. The Dolphins don't believe in him. Kyler doesn't believe in his organization. So it's 2 bad fixes. But if you swap them out, I'm not done on Tua. I don't think that everybody's on the same page with him. Lamar is feast or famine. The one is Justin Fields. I don't believe he's in a little bit of a Tua situation. I don't think everybody in Chicago's on the same page. And that's problematic, especially with the young QB, because that means that every move is not being made to make him a better person.
Justin Fields, coming out of high school, was 1A, 1B with Trevor Lawrence. At the end of their college careers,
literally 40 miles apart.
Yeah, but also like in all the rankings, they were considered elite prospects, flip a coin. In college, they went toe-to-toe, and I felt like you could flip that same coin. Lawrence goes 1, Fields should have gone number 2. He is a great athlete, and I do think he has a howitzer of an arm. If the Bears support him, he could have a Hurts-like leap. But I don't think you can put an Eagles-like team around him in one offseason. So I think we're doomed to have this conversation for at least another year.
It is, but this is one of those situations where I look at him and I'm like, people are like, oh, well, he's like, this is the situation.
Yeah.
This isn't the guy.
No.
You put Justin Fields here in Detroit,
he'd flourish.
You're talking about, they're winning. They could do the Eagles jump.
With a line, a couple targets. Yeah, absolutely.
So we don't have to spend much time on the next one, which is overachiever, because it's the elite one I want to talk about. Overachievers: Geno, Jared Goff, Cousins, Daniel Jones, Brock Purdy.
Those all feel like the same kind of quarterback.
Yes.
You mean Hall of Famer Brock Purdy?
Let's
give the man his flowers, David.
Let's focus on the franchise elite category, which is 1 through 6. Only 6. Patrick Mahomes, no argument. Jalen Hurts, okay, argument maybe. Joe Burrow, no argument. Josh Allen.
This is his last year.
Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert.
Okay,
so
you know
6
what?
guys. You said 4 earlier this week.
Let me backtrack that. Of that 6, I see 3.5. Okay?
Yeah.
Allen is the half. You're there, but, your expiration date is coming up. It's like renewing your license. Your birthday's coming up, son. You better get that done. Yeah, Herbert, no. You got to do something other than just look really good in the regular season. And then, you had an idiot for a coach. I get it. We'll see what happens with your new offensive coordinator. Who was the other one?
Lawrence.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence, not there yet.
Yeah, he's not the same tier as Patrick Mahomes.
No.
And he's not the same tier as Joe Burrow.
He's not there yet. He's the guy that maybe you put in the overachiever category because kind of like Justin Fields, you had nothing going against you. Urban Meyer was just not there to help you. Now all of a sudden you got a coaching, you got instruction, you got tutelage, and you got better. Now, if he backs it up next year, then I will say kind of like Joe Burrow, you got something there. But you got to do it more than once.
I would totally agree with that, and that is in Football Today.